Hi, my name is Veronica Lee, and I want to share with you a little bit about this idea of our will, this idea of having our doing, our ability to activate, our ability to manifest what it is that we are envisioning or desiring from the heart to come forth through ourselves. In all honesty, I feel a little bit nervous or unqualified to share and divulge about this idea of the will and this energy around the third chakra. I'll share with you a little bit of my own personal experience with my third chakra. First of all, I have no idea of all my chakras. I have no connection to it. I have no idea what's going on with it. And at one time, I went to a class and we were paired up, and our idea was to look at each other's chakras to have a real sense of what we see. And I paired up with a friend of mine, and she was looking at each of my chakras, and she got to my third chakra and said, "Oh my gosh, it's totally clear, completely, crystal, it's beautiful, it just, made her heart sing, etc." And I thought, oh, isn't that great? Isn't that exciting? And one of the thoughts I had afterwards, when I thought of it being clear rather than, let's say, the traditional yellow, was that when our chakras, let's say, are integrated, that they really do become more crystallized, right? They are more of a clear crystal rather than any particular color. If we think about a crystal, we think that it is clear, and then we see the light or the sun coming through it, and what happens is as that light hits the crystal, it then fragments out into the rainbow, and then we have the first chakra related to the color red, and it moves up through there. So when my friend saw my third chakra as being clear, I thought, oh wow, I've really integrated it. I'm doing so well. But what's interesting is I feel that because that's the one I'm the least connected to, that perhaps it's the opposite that's true. Maybe I have no idea how my will works, or how these forces, or how my third chakra, what does it even do? Anyway, so what I have learned, however, is that by implementing discipline, we can really build and strengthen our will. That is probably the weakest area of my being, I would say. It's really easy for me to get ideas. It's really easy for me to download and to see the bigger picture. It's easy for me to have these desires and to really be creative. I enjoy, knitting. I enjoy doing all kinds of creative activities. And of course that does take some will. But this idea of really pulling and manifesting that from above, or gathering sources from below and implementing them and bringing them through the will, seems a little bit foreign or odd to me. Maybe perhaps it's so natural for me. What I've seen with people is that sometimes their gifts are so natural that it comes so effortless that they don't really identify it. But then I look at things like meditation and having a discipline where I'm really meditating on a regular basis, or exercise, or sticking with any kind of routine. That's where I'm challenged. Whereas if you are well disciplined, you really strengthen that will force. But if your will force is strengthened, are you disciplined? So I don't know, those are questions more than answers. But nonetheless, when we start to learn how to really bring forth who we are as our authentic selves, then the next step is to really bring that through our will, to bring that through our action and our force of doing this. What I see is that if we are blocked in the will, if we are blocked at doing anything, a lot of times it's because we are feeling a little bit apprehensive about our ability or value. So let's say our value has been well integrated. Let's say we've decided to do something and we feel really worthy and good about ourselves. Bringing that forth can be really tricky for several reasons. First of all, we may not know how. We may not know the plan. We don't have the steps, 1, 2, 3, and 4 to get to where we want to go. But we also may not have the discipline or the will force to pull that through our forces and make that happen. So if you are challenged by your will, which maybe I am or maybe I'm not, that's an interesting picture in and of itself, you can bring your awareness to that in your meditations. So as I used to do, I would systematically go through each chakra and bringing all my attention, all my awareness to each one and examining what color it might be. What does it feel like? And then if I wanted to, I could, let's say, fine-tune that and allow that color to expand to maybe its ideal color, which if we wanted to say there was an ideal color, we could, but again, I don't usually have too many rules. Nonetheless, that's one way you can bring your attention to it, is as you're going through all the chakras, or specifically your third chakra, you can really examine what's going on here. What is, presenting itself to me? What is it that I need to do? So those are some suggestions. The other thing is by creating anything in a regular routine or habit. Sometimes having a 9-to-5 job is one of those perfect things. It develops the will. You get up at 7, you are out of the house by 8, you're at work and doing what you need to do by 9. Having that routine, having that rhythm in your day really helps strengthen that will. I know this from my own child rearing. Basically with my children, they have bedtimes, and we are very good about following through with their bedtimes, helping them develop that. In my own, experience, I did not have that parameter. It was, oh, when you're tired, you'll go to sleep. Oh, if you don't want to do your homework, you don't have to. And that's, that's understandable to some degree by giving me that freedom. But it really didn't help me develop, a really strong sense of discipline, self-discipline, and will. So I, managed with as best as I can with what I have. And so what's happening for me is by really bringing focus and attention to my will, I can then channel that energy more easily. Hopefully that's helpful. I know I rambled a little bit, and it's mostly because I do feel the weakest in this area, but maybe in some nugget there's something for you. I thought I'd bring that forth so that as you proceed to develop who you are, understand who you are, discover what you want to do, you have the umph and the energy as your will is formed and stronger to bring that through. And so with that, thank you so much for spending this time with me.